It's a harsh world out there, and that's why sometimes predators attack young babies because they're easier to prey on. Have you ever seen a jackal go after a baby impala? What about a few dogs taking advantage of a defenseless kitten? If you want to see some little babies in trouble, keep watching as we look at animals hunting baby animals mercilessly to eat them. Number 15. Magpies attack. A duckling is being pursued by an avian animal, but it manages to elude capture. Crows and magpies are meat-eating predatory birds that have been hunting, attacking, and eating the ducklings on this duck pond since the beginning of the duck breeding season. And their attacks are difficult to stop because the ducks lack the skills to adequately defend themselves and their ducklings. This poor little rabbit is being harassed by a vicious magpie, and it doesn't know what to do. Even though it's a baby, it still tries to jump at the magpie. Hopefully, this ended well for the cute bunny. This tiny snake is caught by a deadly magpie, and the bird starts messing around with the snake. It bites and pecks it, and the snake curls up because it's afraid. But it won't survive this attack if the magpie keeps attacking it this way. The magpie doesn't even try to eat it. It just leaves it there. Number 14. Cat attack. This cat was out and about when it encountered a cute bunny rabbit and decided to choke it. The poor little bunny is seen struggling, desperately trying to get out of the cat's grip. But I don't think it's happening. This cat caught what looks like a duckling, even though it's not easy to tell. House cats like these will not necessarily eat the animals they catch because they are already well fed, unless this cat hunts for its food. This family cat goes on the hunt and catches baby rabbits, pouncing on them so he can devour them whole. Cats are amazing predators, and they strike fast when they see little animals running around. Number 13. Leopard attack. On an early game drive, wildlife enthusiasts noticed this female leopard wandering through the bushes. They watched and followed her for about an hour as she stopped and looked for prey. She immediately positioned herself in stalking mode and sat down next to their vehicle when she strolled past it at one point. They discovered she'd seen a jackal pup behind their vehicle at this point. This pup was one of a litter of 3 that they'd seen the night before in a nearby lair. Their mother was nowhere to be found. This one pup seemed to have gotten lost outside the den that morning and was noticed by this leopard on the lookout for prey. This leopard catches a baby Nyala, and like most big cats do, he doesn't kill the little guy right away. He kind of fiddles with it and even lets it go for a swim before grabbing it again. The leopard must be asking the Nyala why it's giving him so much trouble. The cat finally grabs his prey and lets it run a little before it kills it. Here is another leopard playing games with a baby buck before the moment of truth. The young animal thinks he's at daycare and was given a beautiful putty cat to play with. However, when the putty cat begins to play rough, the youngster realizes it's the end of the road. This leopard is going for a walk in the tall grass when he stumbles upon a wildcat by fluke. He takes the opportunity to kill the small feline, and it doesn't take long. I'm surprised the wildcat didn't see this coming, so he could run away. Another leopard is engaging in a game of cat and mouse with a newborn impala. It's quite frightening to watch, but it represents the ongoing struggle for survival in the African bush. Number 12. Crow attacks baby rabbit. Crows can be aggressive, and this crow shows us just that when it attacks a small bunny rabbit. An adult jackrabbit comes by and smells the small rabbit while the crow watches until the jackrabbit leaves. Is the small rabbit a jackrabbit and the adult's offspring? If that's the case, the jackrabbit doesn't seem to care too much about what the crow is doing to its offspring. A baby partridge also watches the action. I can't believe how many different types of animals are on this street. This is a residential area. I feel bad for the little bunny, and honestly, the person filming should have intervened. I know it's nature, but it's a defenseless baby. A rabbit built a nest in the front yard of this man's house, so he installed a trail camera to monitor what was going to happen. Crows spotted the nest and attempted to steal one of the chicks, prompting the mother to defend her babies. The mother may be seen attempting to chase the birds away. This crow has just snatched a baby rabbit, and mom is trying to stop the crow from flying away, but it's not able to. It's sad to see the mother react this way after her baby is gone. Number 11. Chicken and swan attacks. For some reason, this swan has something against one of her babies and harasses it incessantly. The small cygnet tries to get away from her, but it's quite difficult to swim away from mom when she's all over you. The cygnet finally jumps out of the water and remains on land to get some peace. This poor little puppy tries to eat the leftovers of an egg, but doesn't know what hits him when a chicken attacks him relentlessly. The poor puppy tries to avoid the worst, but he's so small and so clumsy, he can't do much. This aggressive swan attacks a duckling and takes it away from its 8 other siblings, killing it easily. I'm surprised the duckling's mother didn't try to defend her duckling. Number 10. Lion versus serval. In our thumbnail, you can see a young lion holding on to what looks like a baby serval, but I'm not 100% sure. It looks kind of big for a serval cub. Nevertheless, whatever it is, it's not going to be around for very long. When a group of lionesses was being followed by safari enthusiasts, one of them suddenly went into stalking mode. Onlookers couldn't find any prey in the area after looking around. The lioness stalked closer to the car before leaping onto a nearby shrub. The guide and his companions were taken aback by what happened next. Pure, unadulterated nature at its finest. The lioness seized a serval, and the serval tried its hardest to fight back, but it was no match for the lioness due to its size. This young serval tries his best to scare away a lion, but when the big cat has had enough, he just pounces on the serval, and that's the end of that. Life in the bush is just not fair. Number 9. Raven, jackdaw, and crow attacks. This jackdaw is pulling these kestrel chicks out of the nest one by one, letting them drop to the ground. The person filming this said he found the 4 baby kestrels on the ground unharmed. So, this jackdaw harassed and attacked the little birds just for fun. I never thought animals could be this cruel. The West End eagle's nest was unattended, and ravens took their opportunity to break 2 of the eggs, eat the chicks, and remove the other egg. I'm thinking the ravens took a big risk. Had the eagles come back, it would have been an entirely different outcome. I guess this is the same jackdaw that harassed these chicks earlier. I guess this is the part where the jackdaw just feels like harassing the babies before he throws them overboard. These chicks look smaller than the ones in the previous video, so this may be another batch. Just a wild guess here. This crow takes advantage of these young eagles when their mother is absent. The crow is definitely trying to kill and eat this youngster by biting into its neck. The video cuts short so we don't see what happens. Number 8. Crow attacks duckling and squirrel. This poor little duckling was attacked by a crow, and you could see it struggling, laying there on its back. Mom keeps going back and forth, not sure of what to do. The other ducks look around, but the little duckling is unable to get up on her own. The crow attacks a second time and grabs the duckling even though Mom lunges at the crow. A crow finds and eats a baby squirrel on the side of the road. There isn't much the little squirrel can do, and you can see how violent the crow's attack is as it stabs the squirrel with its pointy beak. If the squirrel's mom had been around, things would not have gone the same way. Another crow sneaks up on a mom and her duckling and snatches the duckling, flying away with it in its mouth. I think this was the duckling's last outing at the park with her mom. Number 7. Hawk attack. This hawk has landed on a young groundhog and stands on it until the groundhog takes its last breath. The hawk is much too powerful, so the groundhog is not getting out of this mess. A family of ducklings is taking a stroll in the park with their mom when a bird of prey comes flying down and swoops down to snatch one of the ducklings. Number 6. Marten attack. A blackbird was breeding in this hedge, so the people living in this house installed a camera to have a closer look. Later that night, the chick in the nest was taken by a predator. It may have been a weasel or a tree marten. Vampire deer and elk may have fangs, and like antlers in other deer, deer fangs are mostly used as weapons by competing males vying for territories and access to breeding females. However, you can see in this video that vampire elks, especially young ones, are not capable of much harm. This vampire baby elk is being chased by a marten, and besides running around, there isn't much he can do to avoid the marten. The marten grabs it by the throat under the watchful eye of its mother and chokes it to death, without the elk's mother trying to defend it. It runs off when the marten carries the dead animal up the wall to show the mother her baby is dead. I guess the marten wanted to give the mother one last look at her offspring before it devoured it. The marten seems to want to take the deceased baby higher up into the forest. This marten sneaks up to this nest in the middle of the night and eats all 5 blackbird chicks without a problem. When the blackbird returns, it can't believe what it sees: an empty nest. Number 5. Baboon kills baby impala. Have you ever seen a baboon eat an impala? Onlookers were seriously overwhelmed and never knew that baboons could be so cruel. It is part of nature, everyone has to eat, but this sighting will stay with them for a long time. This was not easy to watch. This time, a baboon captures a fawn and even bites some flesh off its back. The fawn's mother charges the baboon, who repels the mother by stretching out his arm and putting his hand in her face. Unfortunately, the mother is powerless to save her child from the clutches of the baboon. This fawn was taken from its mother by a baboon, and the baboon is holding the fawn on a rock high enough to protect it from the fawn's mother. At this point, the baboon is unconcerned about the mother and continues to eat the fawn. Here's a baboon who got lucky and is eating a fawn. The fawn is already dead, and the baboon is tearing flesh out from its body to eat. Number 4. Dog attacks. This poor kitten found himself at the wrong place at the wrong time when 3 large dogs destroyed it in a matter of seconds. Well, guess what? The kitty was still standing up after all that abuse. Were these dogs tickling the cat or attacking it? 2 dogs attack another small cat, but one of the dogs is furious and grabs the cat to kill it as it carries it across the street. Another dog mangles, beats, and kills a poor alley cat in this video. Number 3. Jackal attack. During a morning game drive in the Kapama Game Reserve, some tourists came across a newborn wildebeest that was either ill or too sick to get up. Nature took its course despite the mother wildebeest's best efforts to scare the jackals away. People who witnessed the incident later stated it was difficult to stand there and not intervene to save the young one, but that is what nature viewing is all about. It is about just standing there and watching and letting nature take its course. Jackals are scavengers, and they usually end up with the table scraps, but once in a while they also hunt. And when they can get their paws on easy prey such as this newborn wildebeest, it's always a pleasure for the scavengers. This jackal made a kill, and it's a young impala. You can see the jackal carry the impala somewhere more discreet, away from larger scavengers or predators that may have become aware of the kill. Number 2. Cheetah attack. This was the first cheetah sighting of the 12-day Tanzanian safari for a group of wildlife enthusiasts. Seeing a cheetah in the wild in northern Tanzania is a great experience. Cheetah safaris can be had in other countries like Kenya and South Africa, but Tanzania is your best bet when you want to see some cheetahs. This young cheetah hunts this baby gazelle, and since the cub is not experienced, he sort of plays and taps on the gazelle before killing it. It's a slow and painful death for the little gazelle. This young kudu cries for help when these 2 cheetahs attack it. The cheetahs manage to keep their prey under control until it takes its last breath. A mother cheetah brought back a wildebeest calf so her 4 nearly grown cubs could practice killing. To put an end to the calf's misery was going to be painful for the calf, because the young cubs were still quite inept at this stage in their lives. Number 1. Geese attack. In this heartbreaking video, these ducklings are looking for their mother when they're attacked by 2 Canadian geese. One of the ducklings is killed while several others barely escape. Watching smaller animals like these ducklings being attacked by larger ones isn't always a pleasant sight. This poor baby goose got lost and encountered two bullies that gave her a hard time. The story does have a happy ending, but it's not shown in the video. A female mallard duck and her ducklings are being attacked by these geese. It's the younger geese that attack her, but the ducklings are not attacked. The mallard is finally able to leave with her ducklings. You can see them entering the water safely. This mother was not afraid and she stood her ground against these bullies. I must say, watching these little guys being killed by much larger animals was heartbreaking. But that small kitten still standing after all that abuse was breathtaking. What about you? Which one was your favorite? Why don't you let us know in the comments below? Well, that's our look at animals hunting baby animals mercilessly to eat them. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's it for now.